These people are people who think they're God. I mean, and people actually believe that nonsense. These people consciously know that what they're doing is wrong. The truth right now, where we stand as a human species, is horrific and ugly. We have a society that is completely naive and trusting in all of the worldly institutions all around us that are doing nothing to serve who we say we are and what we want. Zero. What's the true purpose of the so-called education system? It is to indoctrinate the young into the worldview of the state so that they are easy to control, present a skewed depiction of both past history and current social events, politically brainwash the young and impressionable. That's the real purpose of so-called mainstream education. That's why you're never going to have an informed population capable of critical thinking, because the owners of the world don't want that. The owners of society want obedient workers. And that's what the education system is there to churn out. If we're being honest with ourselves, you want to lie to yourself all day that this is set up to actually edify and enlighten people and give them accurate information about the world and what's happening and what's taking place, lie to yourself all day. All damn day you can lie to yourself. Go look in a mirror and practice lying to yourself about that. You know, you can get better and better at it. If we're being honest with ourselves, education is just another aspect of state indoctrination. It's the state putting their people in point positions to brainwash the young, to make them ignorant and docile so that they are easy to control by the state. That's all the modern indoctrination system really is, if we're being honest with ourselves. Banking and finance, where some of the highest level occultists operate from this world. Their ostensible purpose is to maintain the value of established currencies that the people use, to provide stability and safety for people's financial resources, and to assist economic growth and prosperity throughout society. This is the ostensible purpose of the banking and finance institutions. They're involved in it at high levels. They're making policy decisions. They're shaping how money operates in the world. They own the monetary system. They own politics, they own the banks, they own the courts, they own it all. It's all their inventions. They invented this whole system. We didn't invent this system to enslave ourselves. This big cult did. And again, I would suggest that anybody who believes that that's actually what these institutions do behind the scenes is an extremely naive child, not capable of true critical thinking, and wants to lie to themselves and tell themselves lighthearted stories about what's taking place in our reality, instead of actually looking at the cold, hard truth. The truth right now, where we stand as a human species, is horrific and ugly. Honestly, and assess it, and come to an accurate understanding of what it is, instead of looking at the ostensible purpose and go, oh yeah, sure, I guess that's what it's there for. That sounds good to me, because I don't have to think or look any deeper into what's really going on in this world. Everybody in our society who considers themselves a moral human being should be giving to people who are doing immoral behaviors and propping up immoral institutions who are continuing to do immoral behaviors. That's the exact advice that should be given. The problem is most people are too cowardly to confront people like that and tell them to their face, no, it is you yourself who is involved in something that is immoral, and you need to back off from it. You need to back away from it and stop doing it. Stop actually taking part in it through your behavior, even if that means you might have to be poor. You might have to struggle more than you do now already in the short term. But in the long term, you'll be doing less harm to society, and prosperity through universal laws of morality will eventually come to you. The problem is people are too cowardly to go down that path because they don't really truly believe in their hearts that that's how it works. See? And that's because they haven't actually conducted the real world experiment to see what will happen. And I'll tell you, anybody that's done it will tell you, maybe in the short term you might have to suffer, but in the long term, yes, the universe will reward you, and you will find prosperity, and you will have your life completely turned in a better direction. It's not me trying to predict what might happen. It's my definitive knowledge of how the laws of nature work. I'm not telling you that might happen. I'm telling you it will definitively happen if you decide to walk away from something that is immoral and you continue on that path. You persist on that path. You don't just step away from it, go, oh, that was too hard, I'm going back to what I was doing before. No, you have to persist on the path and add actual value to humanity. Do something that actually does contribute value in a volitional way, in a voluntary way. And then you will see the universe come to your assistance and reward. But guess what? Most people will never do it. They'll never test the validity or veracity of my words because they don't have the courage to actually change their behavior. They're stuck in an endless cycle, a loop of wrong thinking leading to wrong behavior, leading to the failure of courage to get out of that loop. That's exactly where and how they're stuck. The true purpose of the banking and financial system is to direct the economy in ways that best serve the rich and powerful, to maintain an extreme wealth gap between the rich and the poor, and to finance wars of aggression and resource theft. All of this plays into the hands of the state. Keeping people low on the totem pole of resources makes them afraid, makes them always focused on money, makes them live in a scarcity-based mindset all the time, so that they won't step out of that and actually take a chance and do something that is actually moral and truly productive to society. Most people won't be honest with themselves about how this works. They want to believe and trust in the ostensible purpose of the institutions of banking and finance. Make the rich richer and the poor poorer. Maintain that wealth gap. That's what they want. Because the poorer and more destitute people are, the more it becomes practically impossible for them to turn any amount of resources toward a pursuit of truth or helping others. They stay in total survival, our complex mode in the brain, always self-serving ideology, me thinking because I have to get mine. Because I'm in such a state of deplorable resources. And that's where the ruling class wants people. They don't want people in any kind of a state of prosperity or comfort level when it comes to their own finances or just general resources that they have at their disposal. They don't want that. That doesn't serve their interest. People are easier to control when they're in fear of not having and in fear of the little that they do have might be taken away from them. And so they won't step out of line. And that's what these institutions are here to do. Keep people in fear and keep them in line. The banks they're not doing anything to rectify the economy or help people to actually get up off of their feet financially. They're there to control you and enslave you. They're not even talking about the enslavement of humanity anymore. I'm not talking about everybody. It doesn't apply to everybody. It talks about the people who aren't doing a good job explaining the truth about the world to people. If you are doing a good job doing that, wonderful. We need more people like you. But I'll tell you what, most of the alternative media that I turn on, they're not doing any kind of a good job whatsoever in it really explaining the dynamics that are going on socially and especially psychologically. And then most of all, they're doing a crap job explaining what's going on spiritually because they know nothing about the occult. And they think they have the dynamic figured out. That's the dangerous part. They think they have all the information that they need. And they do not. Most people still believe the mainstream media and its pundits are telling them anything resembling truth and trying to bring any value to their life by helping them make informed decision makings through accuracy of information. Most people still believe that the purpose of the so-called education system is to edify and enlighten people through genuine knowledge. We have a society that is completely naive and trusting in all of the worldly institutions all around us that are doing nothing to serve who we say we are and what we want. Zero. And most people have never studied psychology 1 second in their lives, so they don't have any understanding about how this works. They think it's random or it's just monetary incentive. A lot of it is monetary incentive, but it goes much deeper than that from a psychological point of view. They don't want that dealt with and healed. They want it to remain occulted. Hidden, nested way down deep in the subconscious mind, where it can manipulate and control people and get them to dance like puppets on strings, which is exactly what we have in our society. This is the real reason, folks. This is the real causal factor of why this trust is not only so present, why it's growing every day. The problem is a lot of people, they don't do enough interaction with other human beings. They sit in their house, they watch their screen, whatever form of screen, whatever Black Mirror you're staring into today. You know, that's all. But they don't go out and interact and talk to people and just try to observe the zeitgeist, try to observe what's going on mentally with other human beings all around us. Most people don't do that.